Hey, Cactus crew. Hope you're doing well. Thanks again for tuning in. This is part 2. So make sure you've watched part 1. The link is in the description. If you're new, hi, I'm Bill. Welcome to my channel. This will be my part 2 of my reaction of Katie Joy's TikTok from November 24, 2024. And yes. I'm going to be focusing. Yes, I've come prepared, even though I don't sound prepared. That's just because my brain is switched on and it knows what we're about to do. But I'm not going to let it throw me off track because I have to be the voice for Katie's child. Like, gosh, fancy. Enough talk about Gypsy. Let's get fancy to help us spread the word about Katie, because Katie is sitting on this live acting like she always does, the expert on Gypsy, but what she's really doing, because she doesn't know Gypsy from a bar of soap, what she's really doing is projecting like she always does, because she's a narcissist. She's the narcissist, not everyone that she points her finger at. No, that's her projecting her behavior onto them. And so she's talking about what DEEDEE does to manipulate doctors. Like, DEEDEE had to convince Gypsy that she was unwell. DEEDEE told Gypsy that she wouldn't live to be an adult. That's what Katie has done to her son. Her son knows no different. And when you're a child, like, you don't know about liars and narcissists. You don't know that your own mum would lie to you until you escape. Katie wants her son to never escape. She needs him to remain dependent on her, because the benefits that she gets, like, outweigh any benefits it's bringing to her son. And I'm talking about the feeding tube. But so much. I want to try focus because there is so much and my mind just floods, which happened in part 1. Gosh, that was a shock to the system after not doing YouTube for a while and then coming back, and filter face really took me out, and the half an eyebrow. I couldn't get past it, and I was playing it back and I missed so much. I really do tune out. It's due to survival, like my ears, they can't help it. They close up. I don't blame them. Do you? But captions will be on, so we'll be able to all survive if I can just focus. But I will. I want to focus on what Katie's substance abuse, because Katie, yes, is a substance abuser, alcohol and Adderall and trazodone, which she also gives her son, because that's what happens when you abuse meds. You'll have no worry about continuing that abuse with your own child. Anyway, I'm getting way off track. I want to focus on what Katie's substance abuse has done to her son, how it affects him, but mainly his cognitive development, because there's a lot that she has done that has pretty much caused every disorder that he has and continues to cause harm to him. Like the whole staff situation, the whole continuing on, like the kiss. The kiss. I have something. Don't worry, I went back and made it short. Yes, for everyone. It took me so long. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's in part 1. Like I said, the link is below. That's where the timestamps are as well. Replay crew, make sure you check them out. And yeah, the bunch of links, the thing, the drill, I will put them in the pinned comment after the live. Everything is my own opinion, but I've been on this carousel from hell for like 5 years. So it's a 5 years of research on Katie's child. I feel like she didn't care enough. She didn't expect people to care enough to look into it. But like, she's such a bullshitter, the way she talks and what you know, and I know the way that an addict's mind works because I've overcome it. And if you've overcome it, you can see it too. The signs are all over her. And it's sad that her child is, you know, bearing the brunt of it. Toad kissing her MRSA face. Is it do I have to say the letters, or is it, I should look it up. How do you pronounce MRSA? I want to say MRSA, but anyway, because it's killing her slowly with that kiss. Okay, yeah, you can follow me on X, TikTok, and Instagram and Facebook at It's Crystal Bill. Oh, we have to get into it, don't we? No more dribbling. We just have to, at least we have a little bit of music, you know, just to break what we're about to get into. I appreciate you guys being here. Oh my God, like what is wrong with me? I can't stay on script, and I also can't, like me with time. There's a reason I couldn't be a journalist. Deadlines. Okay, hang on. I just need a sip of water, and I need to click something on the screen because I can't see. Can't see my beautiful cookie. Oh, and I just need to breathe. Gosh, I'm so sorry, guys, about yesterday's stream. I feel like I could have done so much better. I'm so annoyed at myself that my heart kept creeping up on me. Like, oh, it's so annoying. But yeah, I don't want to do no likes and and I just want to be clear in the message because, gosh, like, I know a lot about what like has gone on, like being able to look at the psychological development side, because that's what I studied like 20 years ago, and then like understanding the addiction side is just like, whoa, I just can't believe that no one else is arcing up, no one else is like ringing alarm bells, because what we're seeing is, I'm so worried for Katie's son, especially after the kiss. Oh, yes, I uploaded a little short. Oh gosh, I don't know. Do we want to start on a nauseous? How do you say nausea? Nauseous? Oh, it's going to bug me until 2025. Not long now. What did I come over here to look for? Oh yeah, my short. It's happening. My brain's already departed. Oh. Most people can, you know, they don't have two separate entities. They don't have, you know, their brain and their mouth are just work together. Unfortunately, I lost my brain. I lost my marbles, you know, that's where all great people come from. And I can't talk and do things at the same time, and it's just okay. It's only a short clip, but thank God it's a short clip. Like, it's too long. It's 18 seconds, but it feels like too long. Okay.
That's what they told me, is that DEEDEE made all
Oh, why is it coming up on my...
because she wanted to get back at Rod. That's what they told me, is that DEEDEE made all this up. Wow.
Sorry.
Because she wanted to get back at Rod. How? Like, that is the most asinine fucking thing I've ever heard. That's what they told me, is that DEEDEE made all this up. Wow. Because she wanted to get back at Rod. That's what they told me.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe this shit. Like, why is he kissing her face? He's kissing her on, like, her face is not filtered in real life. So he knows the infection is there. He can see, like, we're seeing the infection on her lips. Like, if he's blind to it, I didn't think he was blind to it. I thought he was just staying away. I didn't know that they were getting it on because, you know, they haven't been getting it on. So this came out, like, this was the most shocking. I was like, yes, finally. But it happened at the end and then I couldn't find it again because it happened so quick. But it's a moment in time. It's too much. Like, what is he doing? And it's sloppy too. Like, it's a sloppy cow kiss. I analyze shit way too much. And you guys don't care, but we're moving on to part 2. I just thought I would this is where part 1 ended. And yeah, so it's Fancy and Katie talking. Let's go to part 2. Oh gosh. Yes, we have to. We have to.
And I was like,
It was, I can't believe I'm back for more. But thank God, you know, thank God it's in 2 parts because I get a break. I get to come back. I'm not in shock anymore. And that's all gone. My brain, come on, we can pull it together. Because it's important. God, look at her. Oh, how the fuck does anyone focus with that eyebrow? I can't. Maybe I just don't look at the screen. I've just got to look at the captions. Where are the captions? God, thank God. We love you, captions. Okay, Katie, we're coming in. Oh, I haven't even said hi to the chat. Guys, how are you going? Oh, TK. There's a lot of green. Carrie, oh, it's good to see you. And Sarah, were you here yesterday? I don't know. I missed you guys. Seriously. I know, I don't usually stream. I don't usually go do anything on Thursday. Usually I'm Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But I can't do Mondays at the moment. Like, Mondays are really, you know, I'm feeling Mondays as I age. Oh, guys. Okay, let's just press play and move forward because I don't want to take 2 hours to do half now. I want to up my pace, you know. I want to, you know, where's Gilmore pace? Gilmore girl pace. Oh, they had to learn to talk fast. I think even Lorelei, Katie's the only one that's interested in this conversation. Yeah, and Luke stopped smoking to be able to play their roles because they talk so fast. Too fast for a smoker. Okay, we're ready, Katie. We're coming in now for you. Please give us something.
but then publicly he pretends like he does. And
it's Fancy and Katie. Like, yeah. Everyone knew but me.
I tried to get her to stop for a long time, and KRISTY's the one who wouldn't stop.
What'd you say?
Rod has been asking her to stop for years, and KRISTY was the one who wouldn't stop. She even lied to him for a whole year about working with me. How do you think I became the spokesperson? Because Rod and Gypsy told her they didn't want her doing any more fucking interviews, and she didn't want to do that, so she made me become the spokesperson. That's how I became the spokesperson. I didn't go out there asking the fucking media to interview me. She made them interview me.
Oh, I know she does that. Like, she made Titania do that.
Yep, I'm aware.
So in the book, Gypsy says there was a trauma because the parole date was leaked. That was fucking Titania that KRISTY sent to the tabloids. And that was a whole fight.
I'm still trying to figure out when Titania turned. I think.
Well, I'll tell you something. I don't think I've ever even told you this because we haven't had this conversation yet. But so Titania and you were like, KRISTY fucking hated you guys, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, so I knew when the parole happened. You know, like I knew she got it like when she got it.
Yep.
Never said shit. Yep. And the whole plan, the whole time, I'm telling you, was we aren't going to tell the media. We're going to keep it quiet. And we're going to make sure nobody knows so that when she's paroled, it's just like, she's out, nothing happens.
Another day, yeah.
Just another day. And the whole plan was they wanted to do this to make sure that like it wasn't a whole media circus.
Right.
And that's what KRISTY said we were going to do.
Right.
And so like all of the friends and all of the people that they were talking to, they were like, we're going to respect the privacy of the family. Like, I'm not going to try to make this, like, I didn't have any interest in saying shit about it. Like, I was like,
right.
Like, I'll respect.
This is what they told Katie. Only Katie. Like, not what they told all their friends and family, because they were out to control Katie. They had been controlling Katie for 5 years, since Fancy's first interview with Katie in September 2020. And it wasn't long after, like maybe a day, that KRISTY got on the phone and made contact with Katie and made sure that she knew what the real story was. Like, don't listen to Fancy, because Fancy had figured it out and could see that they were bullshitting. Because like Fancy was like, yeah, Gypsy was part of it. Sorry, I just whacked I'm awake now. I just whacked my head. Katie, maybe that's what I needed. Maybe you need something like that. Katie, it just looks like there's a dent. There's a dent in her head. Before I felt like I needed an eyebrow, but I feel like the bone structure has changed. I know. How do I know the bone structure of Katie's face? But because, well, we witnessed her chin moving across her face, like literally seeing it end up on the side. Like, I thought I was really stoned because it was waving at me and stuff, but everyone else saw that too.
Respect your privacy. Like, if it's true that she's this traumatized, the last thing she needs is more trauma. Like with
Right.
that shit, you know. And so then KRISTY got fucking mad at you for something. I can't remember what it was. And you said something publicly, and she needed to correct the narrative, right? Because you had said something about like you were concerned about her getting released or something.
Titania wrote to the parole board, not me. Titania.
They said it was you.
Nope, it was Titania.
They blame everything on you.
They blame everything on me.
Okay.
I'm the worst person in the whole wide world, according to them.
Now Katie's feeling herself because she's really warmed up of how much she's drank already. She's real, like both of them. Like, look at Katie's wet bottom lip.
Them. And I don't do any of the things they accuse me
So
of.
they were like, oh, Fancy gave another interview. And so what does she do? She does this behind my back, behind Gypsy's back, and behind Vicky's back. She gets Titania to talk to fucking INTOUCH in September 2023.
Oh my God. I got so mad about that too.
That article was terrible.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and I said to KRISTY, I'm like, you really think this was good for Gypsy?
She doesn't care if it's good for Gypsy or not. She only cares if it makes her money.
And because Titania said she needs psychological help.
Who Ty does? Or Gypsy
No, that's
does?
what Titania told INTOUCH.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you want, like during this whole period, right? They were fighting with Gypsy about this,
Right.
right? And I said to KRISTY, your stepdaughter is gonna fucking rip you and run for this.
Yeah.
Because Gypsy doesn't like to be told that she has anything wrong with her.
I know.
And I knew it was gonna cause a problem. And they always would fight because KRISTY would do shit that would piss Gypsy off.
I know.
And so when I saw the article, I was like, what the fuck was this, KRISTY? And Vicky sent it to me and I was like, and you think this is a good idea? And she's like, she just fucking did it. And she's so proud of herself. And I said, Gypsy is going to lose her fucking mind. And she's like, I already spent 3 hours on the phone with Gypsy screaming her head off at me.
That's exactly what happened to me about the first, about Ken getting leaked to the media. I was told to do that interview. I was told to say that KRISTY and Rod didn't want the marriage to happen. I was told those things. And then I got crucified by Gypsy for it when it was everything KRISTY told me to say.
And I said to Vicky, I said, so KRISTY thought it was a good idea for her friend Titania, who's been against Gypsy the entirety of just until right now, to now say that she's supportive. And she's like, well, it's good because she doesn't support Fancy. And I was like, but did you read the fucking article? Like, because she kind of said the same shit that Fancy says.
Mm-hmm.
She says that Gypsy didn't do the work she was supposed to fucking do.
Yep.
Wow, she's swearing more than me. I bet that's what happens when you get a bit loose in the mouth and you're really feeling yourself. That's what alcohol does, builds up your ego. Right, Katie? Because you really don't have any confidence, because you got no friends, because you got no relationship. This is just like what they're talking about. I'm just thinking back to like the videos I've made from like September 2020. No, when was it? Leading up to, no, yeah, so it would have been, God, 2023. God, Gypsy hasn't even been out of prison for a year, and she's lived, well, has she really lived? She's really done more milestones, like checked them off her box, as you do in like what Katie did. If she gets married and has a child and becomes one of us, no one will see that she's really the wolf in sheep's clothing, the devil. I went to say something, but really, I should just let them talk. They're really on a flow. I don't want to break it. Oh, definitely, Beth. That's all she does is talk negatively about people and talk about people and what other people do and their lives and what they've done. Or meanwhile, she hasn't done anything. I mean, well, she has, but it's all online. She's not out there living her life. She's here with the staph infection, MRSA. She's had for 4 years, choosing to drink and talk about Gypsy, then go and get that. I can't get past the kiss and the eyebrow. How can Toad kiss her with no eyebrow? Does anyone else like shave their eyebrow off, gone to bed, and hope for the best? Then you wake up and you're like, oh, that's right. 3 a.m. decided to wax my brows. No, and no one else is as unco as me. But Katie, you don't have to be unco, you just have to be infected.
Yep. Well, GED, that she didn't get the GED when she said she got the GED, that KRISTY was doing all of this for money, and that they had been that Melissa Moore had given them a $16,000 advance on the book, the podcast, and the TV series that they were doing. And so Rachel was outed even after Rachel turned on me again and went back and became loyal to Gypsy again. Even after all of that, she got mad at me and went back to them. That's why Rachel was turned on when she got out, because of KRISTY. That's why.
KRISTY decides who speaks to Gypsy and who doesn't.
I know.
I questioned I questioned them on the last episode.
Mhm.
I was explaining this earlier, you weren't here, but like, so the whole time this was filming, they made me believe that Ryan charged Gypsy and like basically almost hit her.
Yeah.
And that's how they framed it to me. And then they told me he was on methadone and he was an addict. And I was like, what, how would you get paroled to somebody on methadone? That doesn't even fucking make sense. Then they said it was okay because it's just maintenance. And I'm like, that doesn't fucking make sense. Like, that's giving you access to something, right? Oh, thank you for the
corgi. That's my favorite one.
Corgis are my favorite. I know.
They are my favorite too. I love the corgis.
I love TikTok because of all the things. I
do too. I don't
make any money for it. I make all my money
before, but I love them now.
Are they talking about the things that, like the gifts that people throw up? And when they say corgis, do they mean like the dog the Queen had? Is that what they're talking about? Or am I way off? Because I don't know how anyone with ADHD can go on, is not distracted by all that. Like if I was on there and all of a sudden I had a moustache and a hat, but then it only lasted a second, I'd be pissed off. I'd be like, give me more, but then don't, because, you know, that's a gift. And whoa, it's just, there's a lot of stuff on the screen as well. It's too much. How? Well, Katie doesn't have ADHD. In my opinion, she's abusing her Adderall, and it shows because she's drinking on her meds, so they're not working properly. Look how happy she is. It's really starting to hit. Katie, we should just watch your ends of your lives. Like, stuff the first one. I guess we need to warm up with your face and your eyebrow, depending on, you know, what chapter we're at. I sound like I'm being mean, but I'm not. Okay, I'm just going to get back on it. Get back on Katie's.
Yeah. I like this calmer Fancy. This is a new you.
It's always been me, except for the fact that every time I was lashing out and freaking out is because I was being attacked mercilessly for months on end.
Yeah.
Every day of the last 8 years has been an attack. And I'm normally like this. This is the normal me when I'm not being attacked every single day. And
God, Fancy, you're starting to sound like Katie, you know? The trolls, they make me react like that. I'm not normally like that. And Katie just wiped her nose on her ruggie. Why is she so gross? And then she looks straight down the camera as if, you know, like she does when she does something that she doesn't want anyone to see, but she thinks she's quick enough. But really, Katie, we see everything. What? I don't like it when you go into your Macy Gray era.
and treated the way I was. I was spun in
Looked
circles, Katie,
old.
for
It's narcissistic abuse.
yeah, it is. And I am triggered by that type of abuse. My mother was very dismissive of listening to me. You know, my mother was abusive to me. My husband, in the beginning of our marriage, you know, everything, my husband and I had horrible problems. So I get worked up. And when I get worked up, that's where it comes from, is I lash out and I get angry and I fight back because I don't know how not to. But I've learned over this last year, especially, how to not allow this to bother me anymore. You know, most people don't understand, how am I still standing, you know, after all of this? Like, I don't know either, but I turned to God this last year, and
they come to me every day now and I don't even care.
I don't care what they have to say about me anymore.
Like, to me, it's like, I understand why you got emotional. I get it.
Yeah.
When they come for me, I just laugh because it just makes me feel like I'm that much more right.
Well, exactly.
That is a load of bullshit. You get rattled. I mean, gosh, you've been rattled for how many times you want to strike my channel? Every time I make a video, strike me down, use your power. Katie struck my channel twice last year and twice this year. So I forgot what it was like to get views outside when my videos get back into the algorithm, because each strike comes with 90-day penalty where you just put on the side. And yeah, so I wasn't getting any views, but you know, I kept making them, and here we are. If she goes and reports me again, she'll be copping it, because I've made a report on her. I reported her for misuse of the copyright system, and I've got proof, and they took it and they said that's proof. So, Katie, they're watching your channel, but you know this because they emailed you. So you'd be well aware. Unless you, yeah, let's not talk about your email situation. What was I going to, I was going to say something else. I just keep blacking out. Katie's getting cozy. Fancy, I feel like Fancy's got one of those mics that makes your voice sound clearer and more professional. She sounds switched on, like, but then maybe it is the stress she has been under, because she has been copping it for the only person standing up against Katie for 5 years, because Katie was pushing Like it went fancy being used by KRISTY, and then as soon as fancy saw through their facade, then they went on and started manipulating Katie to share what they couldn't get fancy to share. And then after Katie, it looks like Bree was the next one. They were bosom buddies, but they were actually hanging out in person. Katie was so jealous. She wants to be Gypsy's friend. She still thinks Gypsy was watching all her posts. Like, she doesn't understand. They used you. Now they've moved on and you're still talking about them. Okay.
Exactly.
Like, if you're gonna come for me and yell at me and scream at me and try to call me an alcoholic and say that I have Munchausen's, like, you're hysterical.
I mean, exactly. They pull the I'm an alcoholic. They pull I'm on rugs. I'm none of those things. I've never been any of those things, you know. And they just push all of that. But what they did to me with Natasha, and then you on a follow up, you were the follow up to what happened with Natasha. That's why I was so angry with you. If I had sat down and just approached you again and said, look, I don't have a problem with you. I don't even care that you outed what I told you I didn't want outed. You know, I don't fucking care. They're using you. I don't know. Maybe you would have been more receptive to that instead of me being so angry. But I couldn't at that point. I was so upset. And they almost, you know, KRISTY used that thing about me supposedly, you know, cheating on my husband and contracting an STD and all these things, knowing that that was completely false. And knowing
well, that's just what they do. They make shit up.
But see,
Katie posted, like, she fucking posted Fancy's mugshots and Fancy's history of, like, dug up all this stuff that's not even necessary, even though you kind of, like, Fancy's IMDb page. But at least she's doing more than you, Katie, you know, even if it is false. At least she tried. And it, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't even know. I can't think. I think Fancy put her name on something or said that she was an actress. I can't remember the specific details, but yeah. Yeah, like brain fart central. I don't think it's even important. Why is my
see, the thing was, it wasn't just about making up something that wasn't untrue. That was true, you know, what wasn't truthful. She knew that at the time that happened, my husband was struggling with his medications. He was having breakdowns. His mental health was really bad. And if he had stopped taking his medications at any point in time, if he had seen any of that and had a psychotic outbreak, I could be dead today. And she did not care. And she admitted to not caring.
They don't care. They hit you where it's weak. They hit you, like, she doesn't care. She finds her pain point and she goes for it. Right now, they're literally saying that I have Munchausen's and I'm abusing Vaughn.
I know.
They know that's not true.
I know.
And
I know that that's true. And it's taken me it's taken me so long on my channel to be able to stand up. Well, not stand up, because yeah, that's Gypsy's thing. Even though she's been standing up and lying about standing her whole life, now's her time to stand. Yes, Gypsy has released a book. You can get it in audio form. I know. Can you imagine the torture? I bet prisoner of war camps, like, getting that audio book, it's going to be used. I've thrown myself off. Oh, what have I? Yeah. So, Katie, I believe you are abusing your son. Because you're just completely unaware of how your substance abuse has affected him from birth. Like I said in part 1, I believe your child has fetal alcohol syndrome. I believe you have that. And I believe your mum had that. And I believe your maternal grandma had that. Your mum's mum, Mary. You all have the same facial features, and it is a generational cycle. This is what you grew up with, so you don't see anything wrong with it. You yell at your son, and you're too busy prioritizing your online addiction, your drama, and your alcohol. And because you abuse your meds, you have no issue abusing your meds, like continuing that abuse with your child. Let's just watch a little clip from you and Fancy, September 2020. Your first time meeting, coming across each other, having a beautiful chat. It's the same point of view, but different hair, different eyebrows. And Katie's talking about what DEEDEE did to get the doctors convinced to give Gypsy like a feeding tube, but Katie doesn't know. She's telling us what she did, how she convinced she had to convince her child that he was sick, that he couldn't eat. But she was feeding him choking food. She was feeding him food that she made him fear food because he probably choked. She wasn't feeding him age appropriate food. And also she gives him trazodone, which Katie takes. It's an equivalent to like baclofen. It's a muscle relaxant, antidepressant. People use it to come off alcohol. Katie uses it to get to sleep. So she abuses it. She's taken it for multiple, like her whole life, basically. It's her happiness. I'll link these videos down below. But yeah, let's just, oh no, I added an extra.
It's easy for anyone to fake it if she tells them you need to fake this.
Wait, oh, why does it do that? Let's get acquainted with the picture.
You know what I mean? Like she just needs to pretend like she can't see things.
But then she has to make the decision to do that.
She has to make the decision to do that, but her mother is going to withhold things from her. Her mother is going to abuse her or do something. It's a fear. It's a psychological fear that her mother has over her. And she's doing this from the time that she's very young until the time that she's an adult. So she knows nothing else.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
In my opinion, I believe that V might be over medicated.
My son has ADHD. He never sleeps. He's also autistic. And
yeah.
so he literally never sleeps. He is on more trazodone than I am, and he still doesn't sleep. He is on more trazodone than I am, and he still doesn't sleep. So
Toad and Katie, they don't have the patience. Imagine two alcoholics raising a medically fragile child that was born premature. Extra time, extra patience, extra care. We've spent hours at a table coercing them to eat the foods we have prepared. The food is made as easy to swallow as possible. None of the food. Look at the date. He's not even 2. He's not even 2. Look at what he's eating. It's like spaghetti and peas, but like a whole lot of fucking peas. Like I said, this is choking food as well, but the fact that it's just on the, like, she hasn't even given him a bowl. Not that, but start with a bowl and then it can end up there, and she's not helping him either. Like she always just sat back and recorded and he would just stare at her. She's like, you're not eating today. You must be a narcissist. Like all this shit. Hang on, can I go back? I don't know.
Food that you have ever given your child is on the easy to swallow list. It's easy for anyone to fake it if she tells them you need to fake this. You know what I mean? Like she just needs to pretend like she can't see things.
But then she has to make the decision to do that.
She has to make the decision to do that, but her mother is going to withhold things from her. Her mother is going to abuse her or do something. It's a fear. It's a psychological fear that her mother has over her. And she's doing this from the time that she's very young until the time that she's an adult. So she knows nothing else.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
In my opinion, I believe that V might be over medicated.
My son has ADHD. He never sleeps. He's also autistic. And
yeah.
so he literally never sleeps. He is on more trazodone than I am, and he still doesn't sleep. He is on more trazodone than I am, and he still doesn't sleep. So
Toad and Katie, they don't have the patience. Imagine two alcoholics raising a medically fragile child that was born premature. Extra time, extra patience, extra care. We've spent hours at a table coercing them to eat. And yeah, like I have gastroparesis as well because I was born prem. Mine stems from spina bifida. So I went through all the feeding therapy and all the foods that, like, you get sent home with a huge list of foods. I've put a little screenshot on the screen so she would know. Never, there's not one picture of any smoothies, no soft food, no mashed potato, no mashed like avocado, anything. It's all hard to eat. Like, she fed him what she cooked, basically. She admits in her articles, there's a playlist, I'll link it below, because I've been reading her old articles, her Dear Diary, Mummy Dearest Diary, you know, you put the words in order so they make sense. Where it's just a confessional. But she admits to not knowing what age appropriate food to feed him. Well, fucking learn. But she couldn't ask questions because she knew more than everyone. Like, she got mad at her parents and her friends for like questioning her parenting. But she didn't know shit. Like, what the fuck are you feeding him? Look at that. It's like, is that corn? But what's the black thing? Like, is that black bean? I know they love black bean. Katie always has it in her teeth. But then this looks like, what, dried meat or like, he'd be teething as well. Like, this is full on fucked. Full on fucked. That's what it is. And then, yeah, the trazodone, because he can't sleep because, like, she's putting... He can't sleep because he's been screen fed since he could sit up and hold the, like, phone for himself. Should we just have a look quickly at those pictures? Katie, we'll come back to you, your bulldang, when we will. Holy shit. How do I get here? How do I use the computer? What will happen if I do this? I'm gonna fluke it and figure it out and sing my way all the time. I don't know what the fuck I'm singing. I can't do stuff and do it at the same time. Is that going to come up? I'm just going to go through these screen feeding pictures. It's been a while. I think I've gone over this maybe once or twice. I'll link everything below because I've been covering Katie's child for a while because I see a lot of red flags. He's just glued to the iPad, but that's how they parent. They don't have the patience. They don't, you know, because their substance abuse is their priority, both of them. Toad did attempt sobriety. I'm not sure if he did follow through, but he still has, like, he still yells at V. He's not going and getting any coping mechanisms. They're both just enabling each other. Like, he's been emasculated. He's got no balls. She's got no ball. Everyone's a dick. Except the son. And the animals. Like, look at the phone. Like, it's just... like, your child's not eating, he's being fed. Like, his addiction is being fed. And the fact that they do shit like this and think it's funny, holding the phone above him, like he's crying because they took it away and they're laughing. Your child is addicted. Like, children that grow when their brains develop with a screen addiction, it's up there with heroin. Like, to get a child off this, it's impossible. He's 12 now. His brain is awake. Like, there's pictures of him in some of these photos, like his eyes are bulging out of his head and the screen is up really bright. Like, are we just going around in circles? Is there like only 3 pictures? My God, man. Just even that sad, like, look where the picture's been taken from. The mum is sitting on her side of the couch where she sits and drinks. Where V is sitting, that's where Toad normally lays in his pajamas. Fucking pick your child up and give him some fucking love. His only stimuli is this phone. That's why I believe he's like, Katie's raising him to be easily groomed, easily manipulated. He's going to seek out people online to give him what his parents don't give him. All people need to do is show him like a little bit of love, a little bit of encouragement, and that's what predators do. It's, he could end up being manipulated by someone like Gypsy. Like, she laughs about it like she's got no, like she's not responsible for his verbal skills. I'm going to look up just quickly while we go back to Katie, the effects of, like, he's just so young. I even hate my nieces being on their iPad because, like, now my niece has like an American accent. Like, how? You've got an American accent now? She talks like the Lego Friends. Like, I didn't know they had a show.
If he had seen any of that and had a
I love Monsters High, and I can't believe my niece loves Monsters High, because how the hell are we not scared of that? Okay. We're back to Monsters High. This is really... Katie, are you feeling cold with your ruggy and your hoodie?
psychotic outbreak, I could be dead today. And she did not care. And she admitted to not caring.
They don't care. They hit you where it's weak. They hit you like, she doesn't care. She finds your pain point and she goes for it. Right now, they're literally saying that I have Munchausen's and I'm abusing Vaughn.
I know.
They know that's not true.
I know.
And they think that it's going to make me upset, and I just think they're idiots.
Right. And I mean, I'll be honest, they tried to get me to buy into that for a very long time, Katie. Like, and I didn't know enough.
You used to say that, and I don't have it.
I didn't know enough about you. And that's my bad. I didn't look into you, just like you didn't look into me.
No, like Vaughn literally has.
I didn't have a felony. You would have known if you'd actually done your homework. You would have known I didn't have a felony. You know, and if I had actually done mine on you,
I knew that you didn't have one, and I kept telling that to them.
Yeah. Yep.
I never said you had. I said you were charged with one, and it got dropped, and you didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing is they count on the fact that you're not going to take the time to look all the way.
They tell me that the charges you have in Missouri right now were a felony. And I was like, no, they're not.
It's a misdemeanor. And I'm the only one who's responded. I responded back to the judge, telling him, will you please set the trial? I'll be happy to appear in person for the trial. But has my co-defendant done that? No, she's not even managed, but bothered to report to them. Her attorneys filed nothing. But however,
I bet it's going to get dismissed.
I think that's what they're hoping to do. Look, this is what I think. Okay, I think they know they have no case against me whatsoever because I did not file a false police report. I reported what I think I saw. I now know that what I saw was not truthful, only because I know what's in the other surveillance video according to what they've reported. I've never seen the surveillance video, never been afforded that, never been given it, been told I can't have it. Like that's my discovery. Why do I not have it? It's been however many months. Like this is crazy. I still don't have it. And so I think they literally, when Sarah didn't show up for court.
I think it's crazy that they even charged you for it.
No, I do too. I don't understand. I'm like, I didn't do anything. Like literally, I just told you what I saw, and I have a witness that said the exact same thing. So if I'm being charged, why is the witness not being charged? Her and my statements are almost identical.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense to me. So I think what they're doing is they know they can't come get us on the failure to appear. I petitioned the court to go ahead and move.
They have no jurisdiction over you, by the way.
No, I know they don't. I know. So I petitioned to have the trial be set. I'm like, fine. I didn't show up. Fine. I had a problem that morning. I tried to call in 15 minutes later and you wouldn't let me be seen. I'm simply asking for you to set a trial date. The judge responded with it's being taken under advisement and has done nothing else. Sarah actually did not show up for her actual trial. I didn't have a trial yet. We were not there yet. We were setting a trial date. She didn't show up for her actual trial. No paperwork has been filed since then. She's not responded to the warrant. Her attorney has filed no paperwork since then. I think what they're going to do is they're going to write out this year and then they're going, I can make a motion that they did not prosecute within a year's time, and then they don't lose and I don't win. Like,
it'll just be nullo prosecution.
Exactly. So then they don't have a bad, a loss on their record. Yep. I'm not stupid. I know exactly what game they're playing.
It's just Mike getting like, Mike was just trying to like be pompous and like.
Well, I still think that the idea was to get me there, but not in time. And then they would have me arrested and held over for this, quote unquote hearing.
Right.
But it didn't go the way it was supposed to go.
Right.
Because I didn't move the way I was expected to move. I don't know who tipped Nina off, but whoever tipped Nina off actually helped me. So.
KRISTY knows I don't have Munchausen's, and I don't know. My son was born with it's a midline abnormality. It's like the same abnormalities that cause spina bifida.
Oh, wow.
So I can't cause that.
Yeah.
So I don't have Munchausen's. It affects us in total. It's a global issue.
Yeah, I get it.
I wish it was like I'm like, gosh, I wish.
Shut the fuck up. You caused it. I just Googled. Midline abnormalities are a primary developmental defect of fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. You caused it, Katie. Just like you're causing the infection on your face to continue to grow because you're drinking alcohol, which the bacteria feeds off that. The doctors won't give you any more antibiotics. So what do? Just continue to drink, ignore it, denial. You're in denial about what you have done to your son. Like, take accountability. Do you know how important it is for your son to get the diagnosis of fetal alcohol syndrome? How much that could help him instead of you writing all these articles. I've got one coming up where we're still searching for the umbrella diagnosis, No, fuck, you're not. Look in your wine glass. You are responsible and you need to start taking some fucking accountability because your son's going to figure it out. There's a reason that, like the effects of alcohol, even growing up in a house with alcoholic parents, that's going to affect your child. He's going to repeat this behavior thinking it's normal. He's going to be an alcoholic. He's going to be a substance abuser because that's how he grew up. He's going to yell at his kids if he gets out of your house. He's going to, like, the way that he communicates with people, it's going to be judgmental. It's going to be manipulative. He's going to lie and he's going to cheat because he's learnt that behavior from you. Like, you can't just, fuck, this is just ridiculous. If you even understood, like, you don't even understand gastroparesis. I've seen you on lives, TikTok live. I'll link it below recently. Probably the last one when you were yelling in the kitchen, You guys, you all like, how dare you come for my medically fragile child, blah, blah. But you're the one yelling and scaring your child, saying there's people on the internet that want to unalive him. You're screaming that in the kitchen. Like, we're not the ones harming your child. You are scared. Your child has come and asked you about life expectancy. You talk about CSA in detail loudly. You talk about the guy that got killed in Minnesota. And your son had to yell for you to stop yelling. He can hear everything, but you don't fucking care. What if your child goes into like an adrenal crisis because he's got staph in his system? You're too drunk to drive him. We've seen what happens when he's shunt malfunction, and you leave him on the couch because it's like content for you. Oh, my child is so sick. He's been vomiting. All the signs of an adrenal crisis or all the signs of a shunt malfunction, which should be magnet on your fridge. Like, you should know all the signs because it says as soon as this happens, straight to the ER. But you prolong it because you want him to be worse than what he is. You want him to be so sick. Because then you get the attention because that, like, once you even did a live from his hospital room and then you came home and got drunk. What fucking mum leaves their kid in the hospital? I don't care. Like, you were like, I need to have a shower or this. Remember the article you wrote about how, Katie, whenever she stays in the hospital, what she packs in her bag, in her suitcase, sorry, blow up mattress with like sheets and towels and, because she needs to have a bath and a shower. Who even is thinking about that? Katie. Mama Bear Katie. Mama Bear Katie. The one who protects her son, but is talking about him live on, like, I didn't even say your son's name. I can't even show your son's face because I respect his privacy. You never have. You've taken that away from him. And you were like, I'm never talking about my son again. But then you get drunk and that's all you've got to talk about because that's the only thing that makes you interesting is that you're a mum to a medically fragile child. Why can't you just ever say, I'm a mum to a child? Like what do normal people say? Like, just my son. She's never just said my son. Like, it's always my medically fragile child, or when he's not even medically fragile, that's exaggerated. She doesn't have Munchausen by proxy. This is what I've concluded after Gypsy's released from prison because a lot of stuff has come to light. I believe that Katie exaggerates her son's disorders, where it but I believe she is keeping him unwell, making sure that he remains dependent. As long as he has the feeding tube, he is dependent on Katie. And as long as he lives under their roof, she gets property tax exemption. She gets a lot of benefits that she takes and doesn't help her son, even though he still eats a lot of food that he shouldn't eat. She talks about in one live, like, she'll go, oh, these like gastroparesis, you can't have orange juice. And then she feeds him orange juice because she's not with it. It's so bad. The whole feeding tube thing is so bad because, God, the feeding. And then for her to bullshit that she breastfed until he was 4, she doesn't hold him. Like, they have no connection. She doesn't recognize pain in his face. So many photos she's taken, and it's like your child is in pain. And then it's a happy little narrative, like Katie's narrative. But it's like, can you even tell your son is in pain? Or like he's totally ignoring her? Like he just, okay, Katie, we're coming back. But, I'm sick of her lies. Like, I swear, like, the same reason that she exaggerates her son's disabilities is the same reason why she adopted rescue animals. Like, why would she adopt dogs that have gone through trauma, that scare her son, that jump up on the nurses, that jump up on her son, that scare her son, who can't, like, he doesn't have the hormone. His body doesn't create the hormone cortisone. So he can't relieve, like, his stress naturally. So if he gets too stressed out or, like, they have to administer it. But yeah, I'm just thinking, like, they are the ones, like, they cause him to go into a adrenal crisis, but then they're also the ones that administer the shot that relieves it. And with Katie drinking in the first, like, 4 to 6 weeks, because I don't believe this was a planned pregnancy, and even if it was, I doubt she would have stopped drinking, because she didn't even stop drinking for Toad's sobriety. And it's never been about V, even, you know, when she got pregnant. It's always just been about Katie. She never switched into that, like, my life isn't about me anymore. It's obviously still everything is about her. The blue waffle. Oh my God. Oh my God. Remember when everyone was Googling that? Was that around the time? Oh, I don't want to say. Because when I learned about blue waffle, was something to do with Janelle in a beach and a bench. God, come a long way. I went from, following Janelle. You know, I went from one chin to another.
Wish it was fake, but I would never want to cause that for him. Like,
Right.
no, like he has abnormal brain development.
Oh.
And he had he has congenital heart disease, and he had open heart surgery.
Oh my goodness.
And you can't fake that.
You can't fake those things.
No one's saying that he faked it. Munchausen by proxy is where the caregiver makes the victim sick. Like, yeah. So that's what's confusing. Like, DEEDEE, like, Gypsy was a part of it. Gypsy was putting the act on. Like, what's come out now. V's not putting the act on. Like, V is following what his mum is telling him, because that's all he knows. Plus, he's probably like, I don't know, man. It's just like in all the photos, like, he clings to these cars, and it just reminds me of like kids that have, like, although it could be an autistic thing. I don't know much about. I've only know. Oh, okay. Let's just get back to Katie, should we? It's just so much. I don't want to cry. Katie doesn't even. There's no emotion when she talks about her son. But, like, let's just bring up what the disorders are of, like, you know. Or I could do typing when it's playing. Yes, let's do that. Because I can't waste any more time. Look at your fucking pitiful face. I didn't do anything to my son. Take another sip of wine, Paulson. Take another sip of wine. Yup.
So those are not things you can fake.
And he has, because of his, I don't know why I'm being emotional about this.
Okay.
But you can finally believe me that, like, no, he really was born with a.
I never didn't believe you, Katie, because I just didn't know enough. I had just been told so many different things by all the people that hate you, just like all the people that hate me run around and tell people things, you know.
No one hates Katie, Fancy. Like, that's the thing. Katie hates Katie. She's her biggest hater. She's the only one going out there trying to control her narrative. Fancy, don't believe anything at surface value. You went beyond, you dug deep with Gypsy. You know more than, you know, what's the bullshit line with Gypsy. So why can't you look into Katie? Don't butter her up. Don't, you know, I almost think like you're buttering her up so that she won't turn on you again, because that's the last thing you need, because now you've got your social media voice on. You're a content creator. Everything's going great. You know, you're really someone. Not that you weren't before, but, you know, at the end of part 1, I was like, Fancy for the win. But fancy, if you're just going to give in to the wind, you know, and let that wind and the leaves blow, what's going on? Oh, Katie needs to find Jesus. She's been there, she's done that. And she's misinterpreted that. And, you know, Toad would never have married her if she was religious, although they went back for 3 years when they really, really needed. The atheist community wasn't there for them, but their local church was scamming. Well, they were scamming them once they paid their little pity party dance, you know, with the little stereo and V's there going, okay, mum, now, you know, and they do the little dance and we see that they got no balls. Then we're just moving on. We got to move on. Fuck, I want to store for all my life. We're almost at the shit. Well, it's the dirt, but for Katie, it's shit.
It wasn't even KRISTY who told me those things. It's all these other people that don't like you, you know, and I'll be honest, I just never cared enough to bother to look, you know, like you were of no consequence to me, to be honest. Like you just were not on my radar. I didn't care. I was like, Katie Joy is ridiculous. I don't fucking care. Like, you know,
so how it started was a couple girls that I met through a group here locally that helps disabilities with kids decided that I was making everything up. I don't know why they decided that. And then they got mad at me and it spread like wildfire. And I'm like, there's no way you can make this up. Like literally his brain is abnormal. Like he has no pituitary gland.
And that is a lie. That is a lie because I found Katie's original post. Like when he was diagnosed with panhypopituitarism, it was January 2013 when the crash happened, and that's when they found out that he had a collapsed pituitary that wasn't like a collapsed pituitary gland. So he has a pituitary gland, but it failed to develop, but it's there. The sac is there and it's disconnected from the stem. And that's another thing. Like, let's get some facts in here because Katie, we're not talking about faking it. You're faking it. You're faking it because you're out here saying you're not an alcoholic. Your substance abuse is not affecting your child. Your substance abuse made you raise your child on screen feeding. That's your parenting. You ain't got no time. You ain't got no patience. Shove that screen in his face and he's happy. The development of your child outside the womb and inside the womb. Outside the womb, you neglected him for the first 5 years, the first crucial years when his brain was like a sponge. In those years, like the first 0 to 3, 1 to 3, like children can learn multiple languages, but you gave your child no stimuli. He was in daycare Monday to Friday. You wrote about it. You supplied all this proof. Like, I'm not just talking shit. I'm not talking out of my ass like you do. You supplied the proof because you've got no awareness and you're so desperate to share your son's story. That's not his story. It's yours. It's exaggerated because you compete with other mums, and that's why those mums started questioning you because you were exaggerating. That's probably when you were like, oh, he was born without a pituitary gland, just so your son could be the worst off. How many times do you want to say, oh, he almost died and his blood sugar level was down to 7, the lowest the doctors had ever seen? Like, fucking pull it out of your ass. Because you've never cared about your son. Ever. You've only ever cared about Katie. Because if you cared about your son, you would have gone and got sober. You would have learned coping mechanisms. You would have looked up what age-appropriate food to feed him. You would have, looked like you would have stopped comparing your son to neurotypical children, or you would have understood how kids that are born prem need time and patience, something you don't have. Because if you cared for your son and you loved him, you'd sit with him for as long as it took for him to eat, because you want your son to eat. You wanted your son on a feeding tube 4 months, Katie. You wrote about it. 4 months. Your child went from being healthy to failure to thrive in 4 months, man. It's just, what do you want? You want to be called out? You want to be done for Medicaid fraud? Because you're doing a pretty good job sitting on a live on TikTok drinking. So you are indulging in your substance abuse live while you've got a life-threatening infection on your face that is contagious, that you won't go to the doctor for because you're in active addiction and you don't want to, ruin what you've got. You're delusional. You're able to continue this on by not raising alarms. I'm on to you. I see straight through you. You're a liar and you're a child abuser. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. And I don't even care if you strike my channel, because that means you're rattled, like you always are when someone tries to get the truth out. KRISTY did. How hard you went at him. And he was like, be a mother, not a YouTuber. I can't do it as good as him. God, I really need to get my soundboard ready with all his great sayings. And what did you muddled in there as well, reported him for something. You confessed on John Yates. I'll go back and I'll find that short. I'll make a note of it. And it will be coming up. Oh yeah, by the way, I post shorts every day on my channel. Probably not this week. I don't know. I'm dropping the ball lately, but usually 10 a week. And it's been going on for a while and there's a lot. So enjoy if you want. Just go to my channel. Oh God, Katie, I'm out of breath because I want to yell at you even more, but I know you've got more. You've got more for us because you're not to blame. You're not to blame. Who is? Also, I'll need to talk about, Toad should never have had a child, especially a son, because he's sperm. I know this is hard, because I can't do a video just on Toad's sperm. I feel like YouTube would find that a bit weird, but we're talking staff. We might as well talk sperm. But yeah, if he had a male, that affects there's studies that are shown that his sperm, if he had a male, the child would be born with basically panhypopituitarism. It says it affects all the hormones, the growth hormones, the sexual hormones. So these two combined, because all Toad wanted was a kid. So he said, Katie, you got to give me a kid. She didn't want to have kids. She didn't want to be a mum. She should never have had a kid. Gosh.
Oh my God. Wow.
Exactly, Fancy. Exactly.
It's completely absent. He makes zero hormones.
Yeah.
He has adrenal insufficiency, which is life-threatening. He has growth hormone deficiency, testosterone deficiency.
You don't need to list them all. She loves to list. All she needs to say is panhypopituitarism. Wait, I went through a whole learning phase with that. It took me a while, but now I say it better than Katie now. That's all she needs to say. But listing it out makes a list. And he seems like he's got more wrong with him than he has. I've got the list here of all that he has. Where is it? Here it is, Katie. I'll do a little ticky tick as you go down your list. Okay, I'm ready.
He has adrenal insufficiency, which is life-threatening. He has
That's Addison's disease, which is where the spinal cord like sticks out at the base of your skull. He has the scar from where he's like got it. I think it's like decompression or something. I was meant to get that when I was young. I still have issues with like on the left-hand side. Like my issue is like I can't wear headbands. Like I got no ledge at the back to hold it, like it's just flat. I joke about it, but I just want to wear headbands. Katie, you know, your son also has a similar back head to me. We're more similar than what we think. Well, what I think anyway. Katie, what's that sign? Is that the new Paulson gang sign? We got MRSA. We don't care. We will kiss and we will share. Remember?
growth hormone deficiency, testosterone deficiency, and he has is hypothyroid.
So
And
he'll never live like a normal life.
no. And he has hydrocephalus, PRE malformation. He's had decompression surgery. He's had shunt put in. Like, you can't fake that stuff.
The hydrocephalus, I believe, was not congenital. I feel like in my opinion, from researching, he acquired it after the brain injury in 2013, January 2013. Katie says he had an adrenal crisis. But the pictures she shared, and you know, like he had a lot of like ice packs and bruising around the front of his head, which like Katie doesn't have patience, and prem kids require a lot of care and they're very needy. I just feel that I don't even want to say it because it's really bad, but like Katie would do that. I can't even say it. It's not even called what it used to be. Now it's called pediatric traumatic brain injury. God, it's hard to say. But Katie, this is just my opinion. As someone who has studied brain development of children and shares a lot of traits with your son being born prem, which you just dismiss so much of being prem. Like, and you talk about like how Gypsy was she was able to eat later in life because her mum lied and she wasn't that sick. Like, your son could be able to eat. He should be able to eat. Having like her son has been tube fed since he was 3.5. He's 12 now. Like that, she's robbed him. His whole digestive system is completely shut down. Like the therapy that you need to, because gastroparesis is like having a paralyzed digestive system. It's related to mine, spina bifida, but basically from my waist down, no muscle tone, because the muscles and the cells that break down and digest your food and absorb the nutrients, those cells are developed in the last 5 weeks of pregnancy. And so kids that are born before that, they don't get those cells. And so I don't have stomach muscles to like pull my gut in, like it sticks out, and I got skinny ass legs. Like V has all the same thing, but Katie never relates it to spina bifida. She never relates it to the gastroparesis. She'll just talk about something random because she's always tiptoeing around the fact that it leads back to fetal alcohol syndrome. She doesn't want to admit because that she doesn't live in reality. In her reality, she's not an alcoholic. In her reality, she's the best fucking mum ever. She cares for her son. She's done everything, you know, therapy, hard work. No, her son was neglected. She didn't even know that he had the hydrocephalus that was left untreated for like 4 years, 4.5. Crazy amount of time. His head was growing, and the final picture, I might share it. I might put it on my Twitter or something, or it is on my Twitter. I might reshare it and then share the link. But the picture before he went in and got the shunt, so hydrocephalus is the buildup of cerebral fluid in your brain, and it pushes back, like the ventricles expand, and so it pushes back parts of your brain, especially the frontal cortex of like where you learn and you retain information. So that's why he was unable to speak, because what he was learning in speech therapy, like he was also not like the upkeep at home, the mum wasn't helping. But yeah, he wasn't able to retain anything. And then they weren't doing anything. They were drinking for 5 years. Katie admitted to it, admitted to being too hungover to parent. Who fucking admits to that? And then says they've got no blame. No, they've got, you know, I didn't do anything to myself. Yeah, you didn't do anything. Like, you just expected your child to evolve, and you've got to give your child the information. Like, that's the cognitive development and the lies. Like, she's planted so many seeds in his mind.
Stuff. And he has
Yeah.
congenital heart disease, and it's because it's when the midline of the body is fusing in the very beginning of the neural tube, if it doesn't fuse properly, all this can happen.
Jeez.
And he has hypotonia, and he has.
And why doesn't it fuse properly? Have you ever looked into that, Katie? Like, when the development was happening within that first 3 to 6 weeks, do you ever put the 2 and 2 together that maybe, oh, wow. Well, I was drinking pretty heavily back then, every day, really. Katie? She's never going to admit that she's done anything wrong. So he's never going to get the diagnosis. Like, there's parents out there that admit that their child was born with it, just so their child can get the diagnosis, you know, so it can get the benefits. Meanwhile, Katie's got her hands in all these different baskets because, like, her son has, you know, she's exaggerated it to be something it's not. And then he's just not getting the exact special care that he needs, the support that he needs. He doesn't have like people in his life that are telling him that he can be anything he wants and that he can overcome this shit, that he can live independently, that he doesn't need the feeding tube because he can eat. And he does eat, but Katie feeds him stuff that affects his gut. She'd rather him be in pain. She is exactly like DEEDEE. She is DEEDEE. She wishes that she got the money. Did they get a trip to Disneyland? I'm pretty sure the Paulsons went to Disneyland. Yes, they did. What was it called? Hope for Heart. You know, Woo for Von. Oh, I said his name. Katie, you let me slip like that. Oh, guys. Oh my God, 99 lead balloons. It's, guys, everyone's here. The whole gang. Katie, they're here for the reality.
Autism. He was recently diagnosed with, just got this a couple weeks ago.
Oh my God, I have to put headphones on. They weren't on before because I was just listening, you know, at a distance. What did she say? And she coughed as well before because she's not she doesn't know how to say it because she hasn't researched it. She's just added it to his book of diagnosis. Okay, how do I go back? What has he got now?
He has autism. He was recently diagnosed with, just got this a couple weeks.
Dysophis? Dysophis. Is that what she said? Does it start with a D? Oh, because I want to Google it, but like I'm the kind of person like sing the wrong like lyrics for 20 years and then I find out that's not the lyrics.
Recently diagnosed with, just got this a couple weeks.
Dysophis. Okay, I'm doing a little bit Googling, but I did find this. Where is it? The Australian Guide. Let's just go with this. How do I? Oh my gosh. How hard is it to open stuff? That's not. Sorry, guys. Oh. Okay. We just get some bearings here on what disorders fall under fetal alcohol. I'm going to go off the Australian Guide because that's all I have. Oh no, don't open. Is it working? Okay. Sorry, I'm just going to okay, I should like figured out what I was Oh yeah, so they call it prenatal alcohol exposure. Neurodevelopment, this is what it affects: brain structure, neurology, motor skills, cognition, language, memory, attention, executive function, including impulse control and hyperactivity, affect regulation, adaptive behavior, social skills, and social communication. The facial features is like because Katie's son looks exactly like her. That's why it's generational and it's disgusting because she can't see it because that's her normal. She was raised in that environment, so she can't see. And that, like, she probably didn't know her mum was an alcoholic, but she did speak about like her mum self-medicating with alcohol. Katie, that's what you do. Oh, we got some graphs. Okay, I'm not in the mood to follow arrows. Oh God, sorry. I should figure this out before I drag you down away from Katie's important live. Brain growth and development occur throughout pregnancy. Yeah. Katie. I just feel like my whole body is just like filling up with this heat. I don't know if I'm angry or like my body is overwhelmed probably with what I'm reading. Look, I might investigate this and get like, just so we're not scrolling through information. but I feel like I'm close. And oh, how do I identify it? Some factors. A pregnancy may be unplanned and not confirmed. And then alcohol may not be stopped. A woman may have made lifestyle changes. Okay, what? Oh my God. Okay. I don't want it. Okay. It's ticking boxes. Okay. We're going back and I'll have to figure it out. How do I go back? It's so hard. Katie, you do this to my brain. I swear.
It's when the midline.
Does she do this to anyone else? Does your brain just up and go like sand, like post in the sand? This beach is closed. Beth, is that how your mind works? No, I'm just pulling the piece. Because yeah, I got a sign on my door, do not disturb, but my brain's not there. Oh, Katie, I guess this is what your son felt like. You affected his brain.
If the body is fusing in the very beginning of the neural tube, if it doesn't fuse properly, all this can happen.
Jeez.
And he has hypotonia and he has autism. He was recently diagnosed with, just got this a couple weeks ago, cognitive impairment.
Well, that would be related to the screen addiction. Your son, oh my God. How much longer are you going to neglect your son and let his cognitive development just drift around just because you aren't like smart enough? Just because you two, like, he has the ability to be way smarter than you, but he's being raised by people where their brains have been stunted from substance abuse. Katie reacts like a teenager because that's when she started down in the booze and getting high. Like, it's fucked, man. It's just, I get so angry. I can't even talk. And we need to just let it play. But that's going to be hard.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry.
He'll never live on his own.
Yeah, I understand. And I'm sorry, and I don't think I ever actually said, I think Katie has Munchausen. I said that people told me they thought you did, because I don't remember saying it. And if I did, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It hurts, Fancy. Like,
I understand.
I wish that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What? Why am I laughing? Because this is a performance. Katie doesn't feel for her son. Like, her son's disability is a reflection on her. She needs everything to come across like picture perfect. She's got the dog, she's got the husband, she's got the child, she's got the home, She doesn't need to come across like a wolf, but okay, let's go. Let's cry. Are you going to cry or are you just going to attempt to cry? Are you going to give us Amber, Portwood, crocodile tears?
I wish that we didn't have to deal. I wish he didn't have to deal
with this. I can imagine. I can't. I have my middle daughter has she doesn't have anything like what he has, but she has pseudotumor cerebri. And my youngest daughter
that can cause high pressure.
Yes, and she's had to have several of those things, several spinal taps done. In fact, the day that they were accusing me of forging the documents, my daughter was in the hospital, and KRISTY knew it and was messaging my daughter, "I love you. I hope you're okay," while she was trying to ruin my fucking life, saying I was forging these documents and things. And then
who is responsible for spreading that rumor about me? Her name's Amanda Weber and Melissa Schlemmer. They are.
Why? Why do you need to name them? Because you're threatened by them. That's why you threaten to sue all these people and take them to court, even though you can't afford it. How broke are you, Katie? Oh, you're not really making any views on your sister wives videos, are you? No, because people have figured you out. Yeah, they're dropping into my comments going, oh my God, this is her. Like, I knew everything she was saying about Cody was a lie. Yeah, because it's all Katie telling us what she does, projecting it onto other people. The same thing over and over, because every day's a new day for Katie, but it's not for everyone else who has memories. Katie's living in a constant cycle of substance abuse. That's her whole life is dependent on that. She can't even cry. She has to wipe her staph-infected fingers in her eyeballs, basically sticking the finger in there to try and get some moisture. Let's try and get some emotion. No, all you've got is forced. It's not even forced feelings. It's bad acting.
From Minnesota, and they got mad at me because my son was very young and I got attention.
Yeah.
Because this company was liked our story and they thought I was getting more attention than they did, and they said I was making it all up, and I'm like,
right.
Well, how do you make up a pituitary gland?
Right. No. Yeah.
And I met
Katie, you've lied. You exaggerate. You say one thing, and then because you need to compete with other mums, because you lying about your son, he needs to be the sickest, so you amp it up. When you're caught out, boom. Got to make sure that no one listens to these people. I'll tear them down. I'll dox them. I'll make the world believe that they are not trustworthy people. Is exactly what you did to Fancy.
these women through Hope Kids, which is a group for children with disabilities.
Yeah.
And they just annihilated me. And I'm like, and Amanda Weber just joined all of these groups to with Steve McRae.
Yeah, I've had the displeasure of meeting him. Yes.
Are you holding your boob? Are you aware that you've stuck your hand in there to hold on for dear life? Are you listening to your heart? Is it pumping? Are you scared that your lies are going to be exposed? I know, Katie, I'm not believing any of this performance. I mean, all I'm seeing is a leaf flip-flopping around. No idea if anyone is buying what you're saying. Well, they're not. I'm not. No one here is buying what you're saying because we know you're a liar. Liar, 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 liar.
And it's sad because Amanda was mad because her son had he needed a kidney transplant, but she wanted all the attention on her kid. And I'm like,
I'm sorry, Kate.
She just fart. Is that a fart thing? It is. I know it's a love thing, but it came up from behind her and it's grabbing her nose. So is it a fart, love fart? These are my love farts. They smell like strawberry. What's going on? You have no right to talk about her child. You have no right to talk about anyone else's child. But notice how she's like, they wanted more attention. Like, I'm sure the issue was a lot deeper than teenage mean girl bulldang. But that's your point of view. You wanted more attention. You exaggerated it. Oh, I've got actually a video. I'll put it up probably tomorrow of you talking about your son exaggerating in 2016. Yeah, around the time. Oh, around the time of the Hope for Kids. Oh, well, see how things happen with the brain that's working and that thing wants to pick your nose.
Yes.
and it's sad because Amanda was mad because her son had he needed a kidney transplant, but she wanted all the attention on her kid. And I'm like,
I'm sorry, Katie.
That's when I learned how fucking toxic this world was. And I pulled us out of every program and I stopped even talking about my son because I was like, I'm just trying to like help my kid.
Yeah.
And give him a community. And you're fucking like accusing us of shit we don't have.
Right. Right. Well, they're doing this.
We. There's no we in, I don't know, your son's name.
same thing to me now with my husband. They deny my husband's disabilities. They deny my disabilities. They deny that Abigail, my youngest daughter, has EDS, which she'll never be able to take care of herself.
Yeah,
She'll always-
Dan knows that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Okay, so like the day that I realized how bad it really was is when we were living in the trailer 2 years ago. There was a day my daughter came home and she literally had to crawl up the stairs because she could not walk up them. And I just realized how bad it was. And I just looking at this 17-year-old child.
That's a brutal disorder.
Yeah, I'm looking at this 17, 18-year-old child crawling upstairs.
Does she have POTS?
We don't know yet. We think I have POTS, and they also think that I have a mild form of the Ehlers-Danlos. And the reason that I don't have as many problems as she does is because I was very active. I was a dancer, and so I built muscle strength that she never built because she didn't do any of that kind of stuff. She was a very indoor kid, and so she's got weaker muscles than I do.
But you would think with like what I was going through, like they used me for my knowledge about medical.
I know, I understand, Katie.
And like. You even told me that I've noticed things in medical records you didn't even notice because you're like, I don't read this stuff normally. And I read stuff with the feeding tube stuff and you were like, I didn't even notice that. And I was like, she needed this. Like, this is like, I'm telling you, I have all of these same records and I'm telling you, like, DEEDEE couldn't have faked that. That would have been impossible for her to fake. Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. That's the thing. Like, the things that they say, if you really know, that. And I was like, she needed this. Like, this is like, I'm telling you, I have all of these same records and I'm telling you, like, DEEDEE couldn't have faked that. That would have been impossible for her to fake. Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. That's the thing. Like, the things that they say, if you really know, it's easy to disprove their bullshit. But if you're only surface looking, you're only surface looking. You know what I mean? Like, she can't put Orajel in her front to have the saliva pooling back here. No. And she still has saliva, you guys. She has way too much saliva still. She's still, if you look at her, her lips are always having, she always has a little dribble right here. Yep.
Oh my God. What are you doing? Your son, like, what the fuck, Katie? Like, you don't understand. You also don't understand, like, your son couldn't move his tongue, you said. He didn't have the ability to move food back to swallow it. But you were feeding him milk, which thickens saliva, which makes it even harder, like, to... Like, what the fuck? I just can't believe she's just honing in on, like, Gypsy's always got this little bit of drool there. What about you? You've always had a staph infection on your eye. Go and get help. You're picking on people that have developmental delays because they were born premature. Gypsy was born premature. You can't just dismiss things. Like, it's just so annoying to sit here and listen to you dissect her story as if you fucking know. The only thing you know, because Miss, you got no self-awareness, the only thing you're giving us is information on you and how you're abusing your son and how you manipulated doctors. Because your son doesn't need a feeding tube, Katie. The feeding tube benefits you because you don't have the time, you don't have the patience, you have a priority, and that is to continue your substance abuse, continue your online addiction like this. Talking with Fancy, being on TikTok live is prioritized over an infection that could kill your son. And you share a bed with him. You force him to sleep in your bed. You force him to sleep next to this infection that could kill him because he has all those disorders, Katie. because he has adrenal insufficiency, because his body can't fight off infections like you, because his immune system is compromised, and you put him in a bedroom that is keeping him sick. Have we watched the bedroom video? What are you pointing to? Your lip infection, or your, you got the scabs all along your bottom lip? You are a piece of shit, man. You're a fucking piece of shit. I'm sorry that's so bad, but holy shit, you don't care for your son. What are you doing? Who cares if Gypsy drools a little bit out of her mouth? Your son could lose his life because you are choosing to continue this. You're choosing online addiction, drama, causing shit, talking about other people, and drinking over. You can't put a fucking filter on it and fool us anymore, Paulson. We are not. I feel like I need to do, I can't even press play. I feel like I need to do something. Like, the community is at risk with her staph infection, and her husband can't see it and he just wants to kiss it all day.
Does.
She takes tiny sips and chokes on it.
Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? You were born with an underdeveloped chin. That's also part of fetal alcohol syndrome. But you won't talk about it because you're too vain. Your dad also has that. You could be educating, but you're not. You'd rather talk shit about other people's disabilities. I mean, God, if you listen to you swallow, my gosh. Like, with half an eyebrow, I don't think you should be talking about other people. Fuck, she's pissed me off.
She frankly needs her fucking feeding tube, and she's in denial.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
And she has a weird relationship with food, obviously, because now she's pregnant and she's basically like anorexic and losing weight.
Right. She's a whole mess, man. And it's just,
You're not supposed to lose weight when you're pregnant, Gypsy.
no, only in your first trimester. That's because you can't keep anything fucking down.
People keep saying she's doesn't have a baby bump. No, it's because she's losing weight. She's intentionally losing weight.
Yeah, because she thinks that Ken will leave her if she's fat.
Yeah, because she's convinced that Ken will not be with her if she's fat. He wants a Barbie.
Right.
But Ken is a fucking loser.
He is a loser. I told him that in the beginning.
If she thinks that Ken is a Chad, that dude is no job Ken. And Ryan is not lying. He's a fucking bartender. And he has a criminal history of like drugs and alcohol. And
so does your husband. So does your husband. And so do you. So shut up and sit down where you are. You're sitting down. We just need you to shut the fuck up now, okay?
Do you have that? Do you have that stuff? Because I've never been able to find any of it.
it's in Florida and Texas.
Do you have that? Do you have that stuff? Because I've never been.
She's picking something off her head, and what is it? Is it flakes? Did it come from her foot?
If she thinks that Ken is a Chad, that dude is no job Ken. And Ryan is not lying. He's a fucking bartender. And he has a criminal history of like drugs and alcohol. And
do you have that? Do you have that stuff? Because I've never been able to find it.
She's just scattered.
it's in Florida and Texas. He's got active warrants out.
Oh.
It's all petty.
Dude, your husband is a fucking dud. Your husband is the duddiest of all duds, you know? So that's why you want to attack other people, because you can't believe what you fucking ended up with. What is it, old man central? You married your dad? You married a grandpa? Katie, you're 46, remember? 4 years and you're 50. Wow. What a party of one.
Shit, but it's like still like the kid can't even pay like basic. He can't show up to court, and her best friend Bree, 5 bench warrants right now for bullshit.
And what does that make her less of a person to you? Because what, you're sitting there, you don't have a drinking problem? You do. You live in oblivion. You don't live in reality. You've got a staph infection that's MRSA that is spreading throughout your house. But you can sit there all chump like, you know, she's got a bench warrant. They've got all these charges. Well, what the fuck? Turn the mirror around. Because you ain't looking too good there, Mrs. Filter. Show us your real face. Not your 12-year-old version. Show us your real face.
And her husband's a felon.
And her husband's a felon.
And Rogan's
Your husband's brother is an SO. He grew up in that same household as they were raised the same. So you might not think that your husband's abusing your son physically, mentally, emotionally, verbally. We've seen it all. You are a piece of shit, man. You abuse your child and you're saying everyone else does all this crap, blah, blah. I'm sick of it.
Rogi's got DV charges.
Why does that matter? Because association matters.
And on top of that,
no, it doesn't. You can't be like that. You can't say someone is bad because they're associated to someone who's bad. Because if that was the case, Katie, your husband would be bad. You see where I'm going? Because his brother is an SO, like a sex offender. So we might as well put him there as well. I mean, they're related. See how that goes? You've got no one and no relationship with anyone because this is how you treat people. Always trying to get that one up because you're so fucking insecure.
Rogi's got DV charges. Like it just God damn.
And so then Bree says, but you have a DUI. And I said, yeah, 20 years ago, Bree, when I was 24, 23, I got a DUI. Right. I told them about that. And they were like, yeah, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, no. Like
here's the thing is, Bree, KRISTY knew I had a DUI. And now you're acting like it's a thing and that I'm an addict.
Right. Well, KRISTY tries to say she didn't know I had those.
You are an addict. Let's just face the fucking facts.
Criminal charges, bullshit. She knew I had them, and they're all bullshit. They are the most bullshit of bullshit charges, every single one of them. I am not lying about any of them.
Yeah, Bree was arrested for simple battery too.
Oh my god!
But that got dismissed.
And
and
people,
she literally has 5 warrants out for fucking like speeding tickets, and like I'm
oh
like,
my god. Yet they come in my lives and harass me. Do you know who Aubrey Strawberry is? Do you have any idea who she is?
No.
Trying to figure out who that one is. Some people
I know that like earlier today, a bunch of them were in my comments because they were like trying to like say I couldn't talk about autism, and I'm like, my son's autistic. And someone said like respectfully, as an autistic adult, you don't get to talk about autism. I'm like,
when did they become the autism police? Like,
and I was like, I'm raising a child with autism. I advocate for him like every fucking day.
No, you don't. You get him to perform. Oh, you're playing with your sensory bin. You're going to play on your crash pad. You know, let's perform for mummy, even though I have no idea that autism is a spectrum. You can't make a child perform every single coping mechanism. I mean, she makes the therapy or whatever fit her child rather than understanding what her child needs and giving him that. Because she needs to be, you know, Her child needs to have all the sensory disorders and all the other shit. Like, she doesn't understand him at all. And she doesn't understand autism. Her house is not set up where her child knows what's going on. There's no like routine, no set schedule, even though she pulls out those cards where she goes through the escalating of emotions, you know, the red zone, the green zone. But while she's telling us this, she's holding the red zone upside down because she's that fucking drunk, because it's like post-its on a cardboard, hasn't even got it laminated. Like, is talking like she blames her son's autism for her husband yelling at him. Like, the issue is not her son. Like, he has all these disorders, but the issue is Katie and her substance abuse and her inability to put her son first, go get some fucking help, get sober. Because when she's thinking, like, she's not even rational, like, she's so unsafe to be around. Oh, her son is the one with it. Her son is so much more smarter. I just think of that clip where he runs in to tell her that, like, Toad is playing with his magnets and Lego's not the way that he wants his dad. Like, he's obviously, you know, invading his personal space and that. He runs upstairs. Toad's still yelling, can hear it. Runs into Katie, and Katie's like, Vaughn, why do you always interrupt me? And then he like gets his words out and he's like, about like how he's so frustrated that his dad, all he does is yell at him. And he's like, I can't even talk to him because he's yelling all the time. And then Katie goes, okay, bye, and treats him like shit. I should bring it up, but it's in one of my past videos. Which one? It's like the Mary video monster. I'll link it below. I'll link the parenting with the Paulsons. I'll make sure you check out the videos. They do so much better at proving my point than my words. I'm so pissed off that I can't function. This is not my level of functioning in this anger world.
And I wasn't even saying anything disrespectful about autism. I was trying to explain Nick. And I was saying that, like, I don't believe his appeal defense where they were trying to say he was a moderate 2. He's not a moderate 2. He's a level 1.
You don't know what you're fucking talking about. You said in your son's autism diagnosis when he was, where's my timeline? When he was diagnosed, May 2017, before the hydrocephalus was found. And then a month later in June, Katie was an expert telling everyone why she's an autism mum and she's got a unique perspective because her child's not only autistic, he's medically fragile. Like, pull another one. You're not an expert on autism. You just regurgitate the same thing about Nick over and over. It's not anything new. Like, it's just other people's information. You haven't gone and researched it because you don't want to know, because you don't care. You just want to like bring down the defense for Nick. You just absolutely, like, even when you were covering Amber Portwood, you couldn't even fucking get a point of view there that Amber will be your son. Amber grew up in an alcoholic environment. Her mum was an alcoholic. They fought a lot. They're yelling. That's why she is how she is. It's learnt behavior. That's going to be your son. What are you going to do when your son starts? Well, he's never going to be dating anyone, is he? You'll put a stop to that. A line from Katie's articles. I remember, some of the stuff I can't vocalize and I just skip over it because it's just too heart-wrenching to put out there. But she was talking about how embarrassed she will be walking around with her disabled child who's now like an adult male, and she's still caring for him. I've said it wrong. I've said it totally wrong. But the way she said it was like she'd be ashamed to be a mum, like still raising her disabled child when he's an adult. Like she'd be ashamed to see me in public. Like she's like, the looks I would get. It's not about you. It's not about you. SD says my autistic nephew is a little wild man. So smart and curious. He just has issues in social settings and doesn't speak much. But he's wary around new people. Katie doesn't know that her son is taking in everything. Like everything. I'm sorry. It's exhausting. It's just playing on my mind that I can't do anything. Like I can't save this kid. Like I used to work in child protection, but obviously I couldn't handle it. Like it was too traumatizing for me. But like I can't even help this kid. I can't even help him. I need to move to Minnesota. I'll move next door. Katie? Imagine.
He's always been a level 1. He wouldn't change. And if he was a level 2, he wouldn't speak. And
it's not true. That is not fucking true. And I'll tell you why, because I've had a journey. I've had a journey of discovery. In September, I was diagnosed with autism. At 42 years old, like I feel like I've been gypped, but I feel I've been learning a lot about all my quirks and everything. But yeah, I got diagnosed as level 2, high functioning autism level 2. So Katie doesn't really know what she's talking about. The nonverbal, it's not categorized like that. Everyone is different. That's why it's a spectrum. She can't just put him in a box and say he's level 2 and be done with it. No, because that's not how it works. Like, she's underestimating the manipulation of Gypsy. Like reading what Gypsy was telling him when she was dressed up as Ruby. That's fucking evil, you know, like she was a sexual deviant, like at 14, at a young age, manipulating these older men with sex, making them do stuff for her, like in these different characters. I don't feel like, well, yeah, his autism had something to do with it, but God, Katie, you've said you're raising your child to be easily manipulated. Yeah, because he's screen fed 24/7.
people were like trying to say that was like, I think they were like not appreciating the truth.
Well, okay. And I have to address this because back when I talked to you, I did not understand autism like I do today.
Yeah.
And so when I said the thing to you that I said, you know, I was being ignorant. I was. But I went to school to figure out why I went to school to understand it better. So, you know, there's that. But like Nick,
they can be manipulated, but Nick did know right from wrong.
He does. But in his mind.
But love, okay, like the emotion, this is what like Katie will never understand, her lack of emotional intelligence, because she doesn't connect with people. Like she doesn't feel love. Like she's basically a robot. It's what sets like robots apart from humans. We have emotions, we feel, and we do stupid fucking things when we're in love. We don't have to be autistic to acknowledge that. I mean, just think of the astronaut. I think of her often. That's the level. Or the lady that all those lady killers. What's the one I'm thinking of? Anyway, Katie, you've done this to my brain, and it's 2 hours, and I feel like I've dragged this on, and I just can't believe. I guess because she's never done, I don't know. I got no words.
And what he was doing was saving her from an evil.
Right.
And so
But
he believed that what he was, that yes, it's wrong, but he believed he was doing it for a better reason.
right.
And in his interview, when he finds out, like that Gypsy used him. And then also when Gypsy's in the little interview room, or she's in that bit where, she's sitting on the couch and she's flirting with the police officer at her door. Like she's just doing whatever she can to manipulate males around her. But still, let's just blame Nick and how easily manipulated he was. His mum was fucking worried about him. His mum, like, Katie, you wouldn't even know if your son got on a bus and went to meet a girl. You didn't even know the furnace was out. You're just not switched on. Still can't put 2 and 2 together. Your son could be Nick.
That's the thing.
But
So-
that still doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. It does not. It does not absolve him in any way.
Yeah.
But I do believe that he was diminished capacity. I do not believe that he had the ability to deliberate and understand deliberations and consequences. But I didn't think that back in the day when I talked to you. I do
Yeah,
now.
I mean, I don't know what a fair sentence would have been for him. Honestly, he's complicated because
there isn't a good sentence, and that's one of the things we need to push for. This is one of the things that if I were talking about
But I
prison
don't think
reform
he
and
should
justice system reform, he shouldn't be released.
Whoa, you're feeling yourself. Look at you. What if it was your son?
No, if he's released, he should be released into a full-time care facility where maybe he can go out and work a job and have a certain amount of time free, but never, ever, ever, ever live alone. He could never live alone. For the simple fact, here's what makes
He would
Nick
need to be
dangerous.
supervised all the time.
Right. What makes Nick dangerous is not necessarily Nick himself, but the fact that he could be manipulated again, exactly like Gypsy did for him to do the same thing again. That was what was so important about the Dawn, his girlfriend in prison's letters, is because she could get him inflamed like that in text messages. And I think she was communicating with KRISTY and Gypsy at that time and getting him to say things by saying certain things to him. So, I mean, there's just a lot with Nicholas. Like, you can't advocate for him being out, but he deserves a better life than what he's living. He deserves a better chance than what he has.
My thing with Nicholas
There's
is
no
that
good
I actually
options.
blame, if I'm going to be honest, I blame his caregivers.
Yes.
They failed
Yes.
him.
They failed him. Yes. Yes.
And his mom, Stephanie, told that to the police. She
I know.
said, I was rereading her interrogation and what the
I'm pretty sure any mother would feel like they failed their son if their son ended up being manipulated to unalive someone. Yeah, Katie. Fucking dude, you're so annoying. Yeah, she's really feeling like she's very, like, she can't see. She can't feel, man. Why, like,
notes of the police said, and they said he needed to have support services and he had none.
Right.
And
Right,
he
and there
needed
was-
supervision and he had none.
Well, it's because there was a problem between her and Bobby, and he would go to Bobby's and Bobby would not give him medication. Bobby wouldn't do any of these things or that things. And then he would come home and she'd have to try to get him back on all of these things, but she was just as neglectful. So, I mean,
He
it's
was
just
married to a sex offender.
right. Exactly. So, I mean, it's just, he had no good options either. If anybody had,
Bobby, I can't stand Bobby. That dude fucking was.
Bobby's a double-edged sword. You have to take Bobby with a grain of salt.
Bobby, like, Nick should have taken the plea deal, or
Absolutely,
because he would have gotten at least an
100%.
option of parole.
They offered him 30 years, dude.
I know.
30 years. And he turned it the hell down because he had no good counsel. None.
No, he turned it down because his dad told him not to.
Well, also, but his lawyers were not doing the right things. Have you ever read the 2022 appeal hearing notes? Like, there's an article, I'll send it to you, where KY3 did a minute by minute what happened in the appeal where Dan testified and everything. Katie, if you were to read that, you would never understand why on earth he was not given an appeal. Never. If there's ever been a case of ineffective assistance of counsel, it's GODEJOHN's case.
It's Missouri.
It is. Missouri's terrible. Terrible.
They have the worst abortion laws in the country.
Yeah.
And they hate women and people with disabilities. So there you go.
Yeah.
I don't feel like in the state of Minnesota, I don't feel like Nick would have gotten that case at all.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I think that.
But I also don't think Gypsy would have gotten 10 years either.
No.
I feel like there's this, I don't know. And I feel like the reason why Gypsy's getting I feel like part of the reason Gypsy went to Louisiana is because she knew it was the bayou and she'd get away with shit.
Yep. She did not want to stay in Missouri because she knew they would be up her ass.
The bayou is dude, it's like lawless.
I know.
It's like backwoods, like the shit that KRISTY would tell me. I'm like,
oh yeah. Dude, KRISTY literally told me one time that whichever cousin did whatever and was on whatever, that the police were going to allow KRISTY to beat the tar out of her, but she chose not to.
The last conversation I had with KRISTY, I'm telling you this, I wanted to preface this by Gypsy's a full-ass pregnant woman. Okay? And she got into...
What are you shielding yourself from, Katie? You got that shield up, holding it close to the head. Look at this. Look at this pathetic.
To a fight with Dylan and Mia because they were like, you're fucking enabling this lunatic to act like a maniac. And she's destroying this family. Like, Mia and Dylan fucking hate her.
Dylan's the only smart one in the bunch as far as I can tell. So
Mia only does all this other shit for KRISTY.
I feel bad for Mia.
I feel really bad for Mia. Like, I feel like KRISTY's an alcoholic and Rod's on rugs. And so...
Have you got proof? Let's see some proof there. At least when I say it about you, I've got proof that you provided yourself because you've got no self-awareness and you're very desperate, like you are now.
She had a hard life.
Yeah.
And they are so like, we need to play the part that we're not those people.
Right.
In a backwoods town where nobody gets arrested because everyone's paid off by somebody and we're all related.
Right.
And that's why, if you want to know why nobody's like dealing with her parole, that's why.
Yeah, Katie, I heard a little rumor that you and your husband are related. Hey? Yeah. Viking days. That's where it crossed over because Vikings used to be incestuous. Yes, I said that word wrong, but it doesn't matter because it's just you and your pity. This is just... Oh, sorry, I'm just reading.
But she goes, Katie. And so they told me that they needed me to act more like her mom than her friends. And I was like, okay. And then what did you do? And she's like, so you want me to like discipline her? And they were like, yeah. And so she's like, so that's what I did. And I was like, well, what did you do? And she's like, well, I found out that Gypsy was about to, and I have two stories. One story is when Ken visited the first time, they did a live with Natasha Cooper.
Right.
She chased them into the shed and hit them.
Who did? KRISTY did?
Yes.
Okay.
So when
like, that's a pretty serious allegation, and Katie's giggling behind her rug. Put her hood up because she's drunk. and she's an expert, and what she says is always right. She doesn't need proof. Fucking bring proof, Katie. Otherwise, you're going to get another lawsuit, and you can't afford it. That's like, why can't you just stay on one topic? You're just jumping for another lawsuit. You want to be sued.
People tell me that KRISTY and Natasha are friends. Like, I'm like, bullshit. The only reason she's friends with Natasha is because I'm gone.
And because it pisses me off and I don't even care.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I don't care. I'm like, I think they deserve each other. Thank you, baby.
How long she's got that, you know, she just wants to leave her pointing finger on her chest because Katie is the narcissist. Can't believe how you linked it all back to you, you know? They're not friends with Natasha Cooper. It's all because of me. Get offline. You're the one stalking them. They don't care about you anymore. They've moved on. You're still hoping for something. What? To look like even more of a fool?
I think they deserve each other. So there's that.
Because they were in the shed it's the shed that like where Rod's music is all or whatever.
Right.
Because she didn't want them talking to Natasha. And then, so she hit them, right? And screamed at them.
Oh my God.
Whooped their asses.
Oh my God.
Then in July, Gypsy tells mom, who's not her mom, by the way,
Right.
that she hired a PR firm and Mike Stanfield to be her manager, and she's going to be spending $12,500 a month, and they don't make that much.
Katie, they make that much. She's got a book. She's got a Lifetime series. You're just going off what she makes on social media, and you're stuck thinking she only has one account. You are dumb, and this is just ridiculous because you're trying to get a one-up. Why? Because you're feeling bad? Because maybe for a second a little bit of thought crept in that you might be responsible and you should shut up and stop talking about your son and start picking on everyone else? Yeah, that's how you go, Leaf. Pull that rug up extra high because we don't want to see your face anymore. The filter like cuts off up the top, like up here when I was like going through it last night. I could see it so clearly and it just chops off there. Like, how can you think that looks good? I guess, you know, you got to be blind.
Well, you know, Mike's how my first TikTok got taken, right?
Yeah. And so what did KRISTY say do? Well, they told me I needed to be a mom, so I whooped her upside the head.
Oh my God.
And I was like, you hit a pregnant woman?
Holy fuck. These people are fucking insane. Like,
have we seen this? Don't tell me I just played part one as part two and part. Have we seen this? Or have I seen this?
insane.
Yes.
Insane. Oh my
I had
God.
no idea that that's what they did. I had no.
But you just take their word for it, like, and spread it on. You know, it could be a rumor because everything that KRISTY has told you has been a lie, but you take this as fact. Or like someone else telling you that they did it, like you take it as fact and you pass it on. Like, have some fucking responsibility. This is your platform. This is your business. Like, this is Katie. Oh, yeah, forget. Like, this is Katie's business. This is her on her business channel. 7M are watching, Katie. 7M are watching.
No clue.
Jesus, Joseph and Mary.
I know, right? Exactly. I'm there. Who else can we add to that list of people? And the wise men, you know, because they bring gifts.
And then Bree is so fucking stupid. She's like, that didn't happen, Katie. And I'm like, were you on the call with me when I talked to KRISTY? Like,
yeah, Katie, you were just saying how everything KRISTY says to you is a lie, but you believe this. And Bree telling you that it didn't happen. No. This is first-hand information straight through Paulson's ears and out the other end.
Bree,
Why are you fucking enjoying life right now? I can't.
your ass wasn't there.
Right.
Your ass wasn't there either. Your ass is like stuck in that chair. Look at your face. I can't. I want to watch it in slow, but I can't. I want to.
Right? Well, Bree believes anything they say, and Jasmine is who brought Bree in, and I just, I don't understand any of these people, to be honest with you, Katie.
I'll tell you that everything went to shit with KRISTY when Bree was brought in. Like, no one wants anything to do with them now.
Well, yeah, because Bree's a complete.
God, you don't know. You're just saying that because they moved on from you pretty quick. They weren't, you know, crying at your door, begging you because you didn't mean anything to them, even though you and KRISTY were sisters. You were so close. You were sisters. I'll link the Gypsy and KRISTY, the Gypsy and Katie Joy playlist below. It's check it out. Oh my God. If you want to have a big cringe fest of, you know, because Katie goes to the extreme, proving how close she is.
Fucking train wreck. Like,
well, and it's the exact opposite that what they promised their friends it would be. And it's like, it's very tacky.
How does even Vicky freaking continue to even hang around? I don't even know how she does.
Vicky can't fucking stand Bree.
I just don't understand. Vicky doesn't see what the truth is. Like,
brainwashed.
She's supposed to be a freaking FBI profiler supposedly, and yet
she's a nurse. And I said, Vicky, when I sent her a text message, I unblocked her. She's never responded. And I said, you're putting your license on the fucking line for these people. And I said, I could report you right now.
And Katie, I could report you right now for child endangerment, for community safety. You have a MRSA infection, which you are ignoring. You're choosing to drink. Alcohol feeds it. You're choosing this to speak about Gypsy. Well, you have a life-threatening infection that you lay down next to your son every night, your son that has all those developmental disorders. He has adrenal insufficiency. You risk his life every night. You lay next to him with no care in the fucking world, and you flaunt it all on camera. So you're giving me the proof that, you know, is so much more than my word for it. And I thank you for that, because that's going to get you in trouble. You're welcome.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, baby. Yeah. All right, well, it's 2:00. I have to go.
I gotta go to bed. I can't believe it's that late.
I can't either. All right, Katie, we'll talk more, because I think between you and me, we know most of the family.
I know. I feel like everyone had a really good time tonight.
It's 2 a.m. in the fucking morning. This is what you waste your marble doing. No wonder you fucking never grow and evolve and have nothing left
in the chat.
Yeah.
And I like this like low key, like mellow Fancy.
Trust me, I'm much more like this nowadays.
I can't wait to contact Fancy. I'm gonna email her right now. We were in contact, but I stood back because I was a little bit unsure of where she stood. Because I don't like to communicate with people that, you know, will just take what I say, and then I have Katie at my door. Because, you know, Katie does try to get me to react to shit, but I don't play to Katie's rules like everyone else. I play my own game. So I don't react to the shit that she sends to my email. I just forward that straight to someone else who can do something about it. Because she doesn't scare me, and I'm not going to give her the reaction she wants. Remember, it was It's Cactus Bill. Oh, and that's my backup channel now. Yes, thanks, Katie. Like, I wouldn't have thought of that myself. But yeah, so now It's Cactus Bill is my backup channel. Follow that just in case. Well, I don't know. Not just in case, because she can strike me again. But yeah, you guys can share my videos, hopefully. Okay, the final 20-30 seconds.
Is because it doesn't bother me anymore. I just don't fucking care. I'm like,
I feel like we can both like debunk all of their lies.
Yes, we can.
Oh my God, no, you can't. You don't give us any new information.
And that's all I've ever wanted to do. Like, all I wanted to do ever was tell the truth. I just wanted the truth to be out there. That's all I ever wanted. And if they had just been truthful with me, none of this would have happened the way it did.
For real.
It did not have to go down this way.
Not at all.
They signed a deal with the devil when they signed on with Melissa. Let me tell you.
He's psychotic.
Yeah, and she.
Katie, this whole live.
I mean, all I should
With
tell
the
you is her
devil.
DNA is related to a man that brutally killed. Like,
Yes.
that's her
Exactly.
DNA, guys. All right, you guys.
And
Good
she's-
night.
Oh my God. Now she's going to go and lay next to her son after she's drank all that. And she's going to stink like booze. Do you reckon she has a shower? I reckon there's no hygiene because she's got a staph infection. There's no hygiene. I overtalked. It's 2.5 hours. I fucked it up again. I didn't get it right. I'll link everything below. Hopefully. I want to do the next one, but I don't want it to take this long. What am I going to do? I need to up my game. I've definitely 2.5 hours to cover 30 minutes. What the fuck is wrong with me and my brain? Oh God, Cactus Crew, you're a good bunch of people. Just being here with me. I mean, I can't do it alone. So should I do it alone and come in with timestamps so we can just go boom, boom, boom? But then I'm scared I'm going to miss something, like the crucial things, like a kiss here, a whimper there, a little bit of drool. I don't want to miss those things. Oh, exactly. SD coming full circle. Katie's husband shares DNA with his SO brother. Glass houses, stones and all. Yes. And didn't KRISTY tell her that she has a house of cards and she shouldn't be like attacking everyone else's parenting because she can't even parent her own kid? I can't believe you're on here till 2 a.m. What day was this? Should I look up what date it was? It probably is not even the right date because I'm 13 hours ahead. Katie makes it complicated. Oh, let's just watch this quickly. Let's end with this. Yeah. This is Katie's. This is the bedroom where she's heading right now to lay her head down on her pillow. And then you'll delete it all the next day. It didn't happen. No. I didn't. Just wait. Oh, there's a lot on that screen. Look at that. This is 2020. August 2020 is when she first got the boil. She convinced the doctor, because she used telehealth, that she had a sinus infection. Oh, man, it's been a long journey. That's what I mean, Katie. You supplied all the proof of having no self-awareness. Your son, you don't even care. Oh. You can spend 18 hours a day on the internet. That's not me. I've got time for my son. What? Because he sleeps in your bed, which is another thing we need to bring up. Look at this floor. This is the reason Katie caught staph. This is where she hibernated in 2020. Didn't come out of her funeral waiting room. And that's red wine. And the dogs are locked in there. And she's got like dirty nappies under there that she's just, taken off and put a new one on. I'm not exaggerating. This is the shit show that she thinks is acceptable to show. Like, she showed this. Like, oh my God. That's not even the bedroom. Unhygienic room for your child is sleeping in your bedroom, where not only do we have the most cleanest woman in the whole world on the beautiful, pristine, clean sheets and bedding that animals have not laid in, but we also have 2 cages with 4 cats in at night, good old kitty litter that's always got shit in it. This is all in the bedroom of her medically fragile child, where she also sleeps in there too. So who's the problem? And then you'll delete it all. That is an unhealthy environment. He can't control his temperature. He can't control, he's got a weak immune system. He catches things easy. He's next to Katie, who oh my God, it's just, and she shared it. She shared the proof that, we don't need, your behavior does not match whatever you fucking want to preach, Katie. And guess what? I'm not staying quiet anymore. No, I feel confident in my research and I'm going to share it with everyone. And I have, and I will do a better job. There's another TikTok live, November 28, and then I have November 30. Oh, forgot to say thanks to Ellie. If you want to follow Ellie on Llama Girl, she's on Twitter at EllieRod8. I'll link it below, but also like she's the reason we have the TikTok lives. And she also has a YouTube channel. I'll link it all below. Check the pinned comment after the live because that will have everything. And the list will be long because I've had a lot of words. And like I said, these videos back up what I've said. Been on this carousel of health for 5 years. Like 5 years. But I have stuck around for Katie's kid. I've stuck around for him. Like, that's the only reason I stuck around with Janelle Evans, for the kids. And thank God that's been exposed. We can only hope karma will expose. Like, God, man. This is like ridiculous. Oh, Marty, how are you going? You crept in just at the end. Or have you been here? No, you just crept in. Good timing. I love it. Oh, I don't even know. I might need to edit this. I'm not proud. I'm not proud that I get overwhelmed with Katie's bulldang. I appreciate you guys being here, sticking with me. Replay crew, always appreciate it of you guys. Yeah, give this video a like. Like, sharing is really important because I probably will get striked, but she can't silence me. And the stuff that she's striking me for is like videos that have been on my channel for 5 years. And that's why YouTube is like, she doesn't really have any grab there because they've gone through the copyright thing. They've got given the, okay by, they've been on there for 5 years. So why didn't she strike them before? And they're all like, videos that she doesn't even have access to anymore because she deleted them. They're all her Katie Joy live videos. And, oh, God, we've come a long way. I can't wait to get off this carousel. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to become Katie. And that will be my life. And I find myself, like, next year and just still talking about Katie and not doing anything. Because I can't call her out for not doing anything if I'm not. But Katie, at least I've got proof. I got way more proof than you have. Gosh. Okay, guys. Again, appreciate. I've got no words. You know what I mean. Fill in the gaps and give yourself a cactus high five. We have more. Hopefully I have a voice tomorrow because I want to do November 28th. So I just want to get it done. We're going to be here forever. Guys, how can I up my game? How can I become better? Give me like tips or something in the comments. Tag me at It's Crystal Bill. Yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow without a voice. We can just do a mute one. We might get more done if I don't have a voice. Yeah, but Katie, at least, I'll still be showing the proof and people will see the evil that you are. Because you are responsible for drinking and continue to drink and, all that. So, see ya, Katie. See ya. Fancy, I'm going to get in your email.